Shalom, brothers and sisters. Giving honor and praise to the Creator and the Maker of heaven and earth. My name is Yeshaya Yisrael of the tribe of Dan of the nation of Israel. This particular teaching right here, brothers and sisters, called Black Girls' Names Connection to Hebrew Linguistics, or Black Girls and Their Hebrew Names Are Not Ghetto. Now, what we're going to be doing in this particular teaching, brothers and sisters, is getting into the aspect of linguistics, getting into the aspect of language and structure, and so forth and so on. And I say this in no disrespect, brothers and sisters. You cannot understand a language by solely reading it. A language is spoken, brothers and sisters. What books such as Hebrew books do, as far as showing the rules of the language, is going to give you, say, for instance, a noun that has the hey as the last letter, and right before that is the quamans, is a feminine noun. But they're not going to go over the 1,000 or so feminine nouns in Hebrew. You already have to know that there's a pattern to this kind of thing. All right? In order to be able to understand this kind of subject. You understand? So, brothers and sisters, shalom, and a shout out to the people who are in the room, and brothers and sisters. This is an updated version of what was done in the past. So let us go in for edification purposes. Shalom. Shalom, the reason for such. Shalom, giving honor and praise to the Most High, the Creator and Maker of heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is. This presentation is brought to you to set a record straight regarding the Hebrew language and the connection it has to modern Black girls' females' names. The names we will discuss and explain are such: Tanya, Tamika, Shaniqua, Shaquana, and show in the scriptures how such names can be derived and the knowledge of the word Shah and She in Hebrew. So what I'm asking brothers and sisters to do is get your pens out, get your pads out, because this, brothers and sisters, will get into Hebrew understanding. All right? Now, we will use the foundation of the scriptures in Hebrew as a base in order for it to be understood for edification purposes. When we are saying that we are the Israelites, it is incumbent upon us to know and understand that we do have a language. Let's go in, brothers and sisters. Disclaimer and praises. This is a disclaimer. I do not know everything, and I am open to constructive criticism and loving rebuke. As an appointed Moreo teacher in an organization, I must first, as a servant of Yah, the Creator, acknowledge before whom I speak and who I represent. I took the name Yeshaya, Yah is salvation, when I was 19, and have been teaching Hebrew in front of classes on Shabbat since I was 18. I am now 38. Bless Yah and respect my teachers who came before me. This is what we call honor, brothers and sisters. Let us continue on. In October of 2017, I did a teaching stating that certain common used Black girls' names, such as TAMIKA, Shaquana, can be linguistically connected to Hebrew, even if the mom or dad who named a particular female did not know Hebrew. It was brought to my attention that there is not a concordance result for She in the KJV standing in the King James Version. One-sided the blueletterbible.org /search/dictionary/view entries.cfm. The entries there showed nothing regarding Shah or She in Hebrew. Next slide. Reasoning and dating, part 2. The following is what is a response to the video that I did. This is what somebody said to me. What kind of made-up language is this? Your interpretation on the phrase Shah is completely wrong. Here's the example. Sha'ah, Sha'an, Sha'af. The NAS, Old Testament Hebrew Lexicon, Strong's number, 8173, Browse Lexicon, original, origin, XA, primitive root translated word TDNT, entry, Sha'ah, TWOT, 2435, 2436. Phonetic spelling, parts of speech, Shaw'ah. Verb definition, to stroke, to be smeared, to be blinded, qual, to be smeared over, be blinded or smear eyes, shut, heaf ill, to be smear of eyes, smear over eyes, heat pa'el, to blind oneself, be blinded to sport, take delight in, peel pale, to sport, delight in, take delight in, delight oneself, pal pal, to be fondled, heat pal pale, to delight oneself, NAS, NAS word usage, total, 4, blind, 2, blinded, 1. DIM, NAS, verse count, Isaiah 3, total 3. The Hebrew lexicon is Brown Driver Briggs. Genesis lexicon, this is key to the theological word book of the Old Testament. These files are considered public domain, and you can look on that part right there. Now, brothers and sisters, that right there is the response that was stated to me. So when I said in Hebrew that the word Shah or She can be found in the Hebrew understanding, this person, whoever this person is, responded back to me by saying, what kind of made-up language is this? So what we're going to do is use the book for edification purposes. Because to sit there and copy and paste a bunch of stuff, such as talking about the qual and the heath ill and the heat palpel and everything of that sort, that book doesn't explain what those different stems are and what they do. See, that's the difference. See, the person decided to say that when I was saying that Shah can be shown in Hebraic understanding in the Bible, the person decided to say that that's something that was being made up, and the word that I was trying to talk about is the word Sha'ah. So we're going to sit there and show which one is right, which one is wrong. Next slide. The matter of Sha'ah. 1. The NAS, Old Testament Hebrew Lexicon. All right? As you see, Sha'ah, SHEEN, AYIN, original word. Strong's number. Transliterated word, Sha'ah. Phonetic spelling, Sha'ah. Definition, to stroke, to be smeared over, to be blinded. Now, earlier, as we're going to show right here, right, I was saying, brothers and sisters, that in October of 2017, I did a teaching, you understand, such as saying, it was brought to my attention that there is no concordance result for She in the King James Version. All right? The names we will discuss and explain are Tanya, Tamika, Shaniqua, Shaquana, and show in the scriptures how such names can be derived in the knowledge of the word Shah and She in Hebrew. Now, somebody was telling me as I just went over here, brothers and sisters, that I want to read this part again after I showed what the person was talking about, right? What kind of made-up language is this? your interpretation of the phrase Shah is completely wrong. That's what the person said. So, brothers and sisters, let's go to the next slide. And remember that the person said that my interpretation of the word Shah is completely wrong, and that I was attempting to talk about this word Sha'ah. But see, we're going to show that's the difference between knowing how to speak Hebrew and looking at a lexicon. There is a difference. Next slide, please. The matter of Sha'ah 2. Translated word. And I wanted to show that highlighted. All right, because that's what the person is saying, the SHEEN, the AYIN, and the AYIN. But we're going to move on and show what we're talking about, because what that person did was essentially go to the NAS Old Testament Hebrew lexicon and copy and paste it and then put that as a reply. But you do not put a reply from a book on a language when a person speaks the language. That's the difference. Next slide. Let's go. Hebrew teacher presents. Now, what we're looking at right here, SHEEN, AYIN, AYIN. This hey, SHEEN, AYIN, that shows it in the Hifil stem. All right? To shut, to blind eyes, to look away or to ignore. Sha'ah, that's that word there in that particular part. All right? So that way we can see for edification purposes. That's what the person was saying that I was attempting to say. But I really wasn't trying to say that when I said Shah. So let's go on. Let's go. Hebrew teacher presents part 2. As shown here highlighted. Sha'ah, hey Shah. To shut, blind eyes, to look away or to ignore. So we just want this to be shown. This is what the person is saying that I was attempting to really talk about, which I wasn't. All right? Remember, the person said, my interpretation of Shah is completely wrong. Let's remember that, brothers and sisters. Let's go into the next slide. The book speaks. Let's go. This is from Isaiah chapter 29. Stupefy yourselves and be stupid. Blind yourselves and be blind. Ye that are drunken but not with wine, that stagger but not with strong drink. Heat. Mahu. Ut mahu. Hish ta'ashu. Wa sho'u. Shakru. Walo yayin. Na'u. Walo shekar. So what are we looking at right here, brothers and sisters, is we're going to show this color-coded so we can begin to get into the aspect of the Shah and the Sha'ah matter. Because remember, the word Sha'ah is a Hebrew word that means to blind oneself or to blind or shut one's eyes, all right? So when we read here in Isaiah 29, when it says blind yourselves and be blind, that is a word in Hebrew, but that's not what I was talking about when I said the word Shah. So let's go on. The prophet Isaiah. Hit mamhu. Ut mahu. Hish ta'ashu wa sho'u. Now let's look at that word right there that you see in the second line that's different colors. You got that letter hey there, right? That serves as a prefix. Then the next letter you have there is the letter SHEEN, right? Then you got the letter Tau. Then you got the letter AYIN. Then you got the letter SHEEN color-coded different for a reason. Then you got the letter AYIN again. So now if we take what is color-coded in white, what are we going to see? The hey and the Tau. If you were to go to Hebrew lesson number 52 on the channel called More Yeshaya Hebrew Lessons, you will begin to see, brothers and sisters, why this SHEEN is there and the tau is there. Anytime when you're dealing with what's called the MICAH stem, brothers and sisters, all right, which is the seventh of the seven stems, and the root letter initially happens to be, in this particular case, a SHEEN, a tau comes between the first root letter and the second root letter. The first root letter, as you see there, is the SHEEN. The second root letter that you see there is the AYIN. So now, being that this is the MICAH stem, all right, you have it to where it's heat, but because it's SHEEN there, it's hishta, as in the word shabar, is hishtaber. All right. So this tau, which is the third letter we see here, remember Hebrews read from right to left, brothers and sisters, it serves as an interjection between the first root letter, which is the SHEEN, and the second root letter, which is the AYIN. Now, brothers and sisters, in Hebrew, in order to sit there and show something to be strengthened, one of the root letters is doubled. This is why we see the letter SHEEN here. Now, let's go back to the other slide so that way we can begin to show something for edification purposes. The slide before this, right? This is the same word. Hey, SHEEN, tau, AYIN, SHEEN, AYIN, wow. Now, in this next slide, still going over the same verse, I had it color coded so I can begin to explain what we're talking about in this particular aspect. Okay? So, what are we looking at? This blue letter here, which is still part of the word as we was going over, but I color coded it different so that way it can stand out. This SHEEN is doubled simply, brothers and sisters, because of the fact that it is showing it to be a strengthened aspect. For instance, when David killed Goliath, it says that he utterly slew him. In order for that word utterly to be there in the English translation, the word hey meet means to slay. But it's doubled when you have that double tau there, just as much as the SHEEN here is doubled because it's showing it to be emphasized. So one of the root letters is doubled. That's how Hebrew works. For instance, the Hebrew word ham, ket and mem, means warm or hot. In order to sit there and emphasize something that's heated, you double the mem sound. So that's how that works in Hebrew for edification purposes. All right? So, hish ta'ash u, SHEEN, AYIN, AYIN. Now let's look at what we went over before, brothers and sisters. All right? In this particular regard, you have what? SHEEN, AYIN, and AYIN. Now that's the root of that one in that particular regard, all right, as we can see there. Now, what happens, brothers and sisters, okay, is remembering that is the root of that word. That's why I made sure that was color coded with the same one. Root letter, root letter, root letter. Interjection, interjection to show the emphasis of the meaning of the word. That's how Hebrew works in that particular case. Prefix, root letter. Interjection because it's the MICAH stem. Root letter, interjection to show the immensity of the meaning of the verb itself. Root letter. And then you got the suffix showing it to be a plural aspect. Wa sha'u. Blind yourselves. Cause yourselves to be blind. Make blindness of yourselves. That's what that word means right there. Cover your eyes. Cause your eyes to be shut. That's the synopsis of what that word means in that particular case. All right? Shakru walo yayin, na'u walo shekhar. Next slide. The prophet Isaiah. And the eyes of them that see shall not be closed, and the ears of them that hear shall attend. So what are we looking at here, brothers and sisters? The Hebrew says, Walo, tish ena, ene ro'im, wa azne shom'im, tik shabna. All right? Again, the part that's color coded there is in the red. Right? Remember we went over that word sha'ah, meaning to be shut? Well, this is the same verb root form. Brothers and sisters. Being that root letter is a sheen and an ayin and an ayin. That is referred to in Hebrew as an ayin verb. That is to only say that anytime the second and third root letter of a Hebrew word is doubled, like ayin, like sha'ah in this case, as in the word zarar, as in the word sabab, and so as in the word halal, and so forth and so on. All right? When the second and third root letter is the same, it's referred to as an ayin verb. When you conjugate that, you have the option, brothers and sisters, to drop off one of its original root letters. And this is why you don't see another ayin in this particular case. All right? Now, let's expound upon this right here. Walo tish ena. Ene. Ene means eyes of. This tau that you see there serves as a prefix, brothers and sisters. The sheen, the ayin, that's the root for the sha'ah. This noon with the qamats followed by hey shows that whole noon and hey is, brothers and sisters, the suffix in this particular case. So that's something we just want to go over and show for edification purposes. So now, when we're dealing with the aspect, as we said earlier, about the linguistics, this is the kind of stuff that we're talking about. Next slide, please. The meaning of Shah, which is the letters Sheen and Ayin. The word to the left is Elisha, a man who was a prophet in the scriptures. The meaning of Elisha is my God is salvation. Let us continue. So you got the Aleph with the Segol Quatan or the Segol, the Lamed with the Kirik and the Yod, Eli, which means my God or my power. Shah, Sheen and Ayin. This word here, Shah, brothers and sisters, means salvation. And this is how you get to say what is referred to as Elisha. All right, said in the English transliteration, most cases as Elisha. All right. Let's go on, brothers and sisters. Proverbs 5 in TAMAK, the root of TAMIKA. Her feet go down to death, her steps take hold of the netherworld. Ragaleha, Yorodot Mawet, Sha'ol, the Adeha, Yit Moku, Tau Mem Kaf, Tamak. The word Tamak in Hebrew, brothers and sisters, means to support. It also means to take hold. All right? So that's something we want to go over for edification purposes with that. So, take hold. Yit meku. Remember the highlighted part or the color-coded part there in the blue. Tamak, which I'm going to show in that regard, is the root of the word Tamika, which is a popular name. Isaiah 33 and the word Tamak, the root of Tamika. He that walketh righteously and speaketh uprightly. He that despiseth the gain of oppressions, that shaketh his hands from holding of bribes, that stoppeth his ears from hearing of blood, and shutteth his eyes from looking upon evil. Holek zadachot, wadober mesharim, mo'es, but bet zah, ba'ashakwot, no kapayo, mit mok, ba shochad, otain azno, mishmoa damim, wa ozem enayo, mer ot barah. Now, this part right here is the part, brothers and sisters, that it speaks about he that walketh righteously and speaketh uprightly, he that despiseth the gain of oppressor, that shakes his hand from holding of bribes, right? From holding is right here. But shokad, meaning with a bribe, because the word shokad, shin chet dalet, means a bribe. All right? So let's look. Meet mok, that tau, that mem, and that kaf sofit. Let's look at here. You have the tau, the mem, and the kaf. But anytime this kaf in modern Hebrew script writing form, all right, is the last letter, you don't write it with this form. You write it with the kaf sofit. That's the only difference. Okay? So when we looking at this here, when it says meet mok, brothers and sisters, from holding. Remember the word TAMAK means support. So this is something we just want to go over for edification purposes. Next slide. Tanya, a popular name explained in Hebrew, MICAH chapter 1. Tan or Tan in singular of Tanim. For this I will wail and howl. I will go stripped and naked. I will make a wailing like the jackals and a mourning like the ostriches. Al Zot es Padah wa a Lila Elaka Sholal wa Aron e Ese Mispir Katani wa Abel Hib Not Ya'ana Katani. Now, ka in this case we want to show means like or as. Not like you liking something, but like resemblance, like. Tau Nun Tan. The word Tan, brothers and sisters, in Hebrew means the word jackal. All right? So Tanim means jackals, the plural word of such. Next slide. The matter of Niqua. Thus we get Shaniqua. Hebrews explain Hebrew. For thus saith the Lord, behold, they to whom it pertain not to drink of the cup shall surely drink, and thou art he that shall altogether go unpunished. Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink. Jeremiah 49. Kiko amor yah, hine, ashil, ein mishpatam, lishtot hakos, shato yishtu, wa'atahu, nakwo, tinakwe, lo tinakwe, ki Shato Tishte. Now, the part there, brothers and sisters, that you see in the yellow, Nakwo Tinakwe. The root of that is the word Nakwa. This tau that you see here serves as a prefix. All right, so if you were to drop that off, you got the noon, the quaf, and the hay. The noon, the quaf, and the hay. That word right there, brothers and sisters, means to be innocent. The word Nakwa means to be innocent. So let's remember that and continue on. The matter of Kwana, where we get Shakwana from. Hebrews explain Hebrew. Thus said the Lord unto me, go and get thee a linen girdle and put it upon thy loins, and put it not in water. Ko amar ya Eli, halok, wa kwa nita laka, azor, pishtin, wa samto, al matneacha, ubatami, ubamayin, lo, to be eho, wa quanita, wa quanita. Go and get. The word get is the root of, or the translation here, quanita. The root of that word, quanita, brothers and sisters, is the word quana. All right, so we can gain an understanding of what we're talking about. The word quana means to get, it means to possess, it also means to acquire. Next slide. Now, this right here is where I wanted to explain that the person who attempted to say that I was completely wrong because of my explanation of the Hebrew word shah. This is what we want to get into to explain in that particular regard. In the Bible, in Genesis chapter 6, and the Lord said, my spirit shall not abide in man forever, but that he also is flesh. Therefore shall his days be 120 years. Wayomer Yah, lo yadom roki ba'adam le'olam. B'shagam hu basar, wahu, pardon me, B'shagam hu basar, wahayu, yamal me'a, wa es'arim shana. Now let's look at this part right here. This part is highlighted for a reason. The bet, the sheen, the gamel, and the mem. All right? What do we see, brothers and sisters? This bet, brothers and sisters, right, means in, ba, shagam. The gamel and the mem is the word gam, which means also. So the only thing we left there is the word or the letter making a word, in this case, sha. Bashagam is not one word in translation in English. All right? In that which is also. In that which is also. Bah, in. Sha, that which is. Gam, also. In that which is also. Hu, basar, he is flesh. In that which is also, for he is flesh. He is flesh in that he is also. So we can begin to see how the Hebrew works in that particular case. So now, let's go back, brothers and sisters, for edification purposes. Because the person said something that I want to point out, brothers and sisters, in this particular case. Right? Let's remember the person said, in quotes, what we're going to read. What do we see there from that person? What kind of made-up language is this? Your interpretation of the phrase Shah is completely wrong. I want to highlight that for a reason, because brothers and sisters, that's what the person said about that. Your interpretation on the word Shah is completely wrong. Now, we already explained Sha'ah and how that is a word, but that's not the word I was talking about when I said Shah. All right, so remember that person said that. I know I took a little time, but I just want that to be shown for reasoning. All right. Judges chapter 6 now. And he said unto him, if now I have found favor in thy sight, then show me a sign that it is thou that talkest with me. Wayomer Eli, Imna, Mazati King Be'enerka, Wa Ashitali Ot, Sha'ata Medaber Imi. You see that word there? That's one word, but it's not one word in English. All right, where it says Sha'ata, the sheen, shown brothers and sisters in that. The person said that what manner of made-up language is this? Your interpretation of the word Shah is completely wrong. So I would have to ask that person, how would you translate this word here in Judges 6 that says Sha'ata? Because the English in Judges chapter 6 in the Bible, it says that it is thou. Ata means you or thou. Thou is the old English of you. That it is thou that talkest with me. Sha'ata. That it is you. Medaber, who speaks, imi, with me. So we see the word Shah right here shown in the red in Judges chapter 6. And the meaning of that is that which is. See, the person, as we showed earlier, was trying to say that I really meant to say Sha'ah, which means to cover one's eyes. But that's not what I meant. This is the difference between the lexicon people, no offense intended. This is a difference between the parsing people, no offense intended, and a brother or sister who actually speaks it. You should have never done that by trying to sit there and say what manner of this is that. Whoever that person is went to a lexicon as opposed to trying to sit there and speak it for oneself. Because any Hebrew speaker knows that you don't look in a book before you speak. You just speak. The book is what we use, brothers and sisters, when we're learning on how to speak such. But once you get to that level, you don't have to go back to a lexicon to understand certain things with that. Next slide. Lamentations 4 and 2 Kings 6. That they that are slain with the sword are more than they that are slain with hunger. For these pine away, stricken through, for want of the fruits of the field. Tobin, Hayu, Kale Kered, Mechale Ra'ab, Shehem, Yazubu, Medu, Quarim, Meet, Nubot, Sadai. What are we seeing right there, brothers and sisters? Shehem. She shown there in the blue, all right? for these pan away. Hain, they. Hain means they. Shehain, they who are. In other words, for these, meaning they who are, is the same wording in that particular case. So when I spoke earlier, brothers and sisters, about the word she in Hebrew being a word, this is where we're going into the book itself. I don't know why that person decided to use a lexicon when one is using the scriptures oneself. That was an unwise idea. But let's move on. 2 Kings chapter 6. For the heart of the king of Aram was sore troubled for this thing. And he called the servants and said unto them, will ye not tell me which of us is for the king of Israel? Vayisa'ir leib melech Aram al hadabar hazeh. Vayikra el abadayo. Vayomer aleihem. Halo tagidu li. Mi mishelanu el melech Yisrael. See that sheen there that's highlighted in the blue? Mishelanu. Me, this one that you see here, with the mem and the yod. That means who, as a question form. All right? Mishelanu means from that which is to us. From that which is to us. Lanu, to us. She, that which is. Mishe lanu. So this right there serves as a prefix. This sheen right here serves as a prefix. All right, so we can gain understanding of what we're talking about. This sheen right here serves as a prefix, as we see here the word shah. So this is the point I wanted to emphasize on in that particular regard. Next slide. And they rejected his statutes and his covenant that he made with their fathers, and his testimonies, wherewith he testified against them. And they went after the things of naught and became naught. Let's pause right there. They went after things of naught and became naught. This is an example of them in their idolatry. And this is why we don't support henotheism. Because they worship gods of naught and became naught. You understand? So the Most High is not part of a pantheon. That's wickedness. Now, and after the nations that were round about them, concerning whom the Lord had charged them that they should not do like them. Wayim asu et kukwayo, wa et barito, asher karat et abotam, wa et aid wotayo, asher heid bam. Wayelku akre hahebel, wayeh balu, wa akare hagoyim, asher tabi botam, asher ziwa yah otam, labilti asot kahem. This kaf serves as a prefix, nishem, them, kahem, like them, right? Let's remember that. Kahem means like them, like them. Kahem, like them. All right, next slide. Numbers chapter 15. As for this congregation, there shall be one statute both for you and for the stranger that sojourneth with you, a statute forever throughout your generations. As ye are, so shall the stranger be before the Most High. Hakwahal kukwa akat lahem, sorry. Hakwahal kukwa akat lachen. Walager hagar, kukwat olam, lodo rotechem, hakem, hager, yih lifnei yod he wahe. Now you see the part there that's highlighted there or color coded in the red? Kaken, like you all, like the stranger. You all are like the stranger. As you all are, remember this like, brothers and sisters, right? Is the same as or resemblance. This is not like you love something. This is the like I see this person is like this person, not this person likes this person, if you get where we're going, okay? So let's go on. Lodoro techem, kakem, kager, rihyeh, lifnei yod wahe. As ye are, so shall the stranger be before the Most High. Ka kem, as you all are. Kager, so. Ger, stranger. Yihyeh, shall be. Shall be. This word here, yod hey, yihyeh, means it shall be or it will be. The stranger, he shall be before the Most High like you. You shall be like the stranger before the Most High. The stranger and the people of Israel is considered in the same boat in this regard as far as before the Most High. Now, there's a different form of stranger, but that's another subject because that's the word nakir, all right? Or the word zar, but that's a whole other word. This word here, all right, ger, meaning stranger, is the residents, the people that live with you in your land but are not of your same ethnic background. So let's go on, brothers and sisters. Remember that kaf that was there meaning like or as. MISHAEL, Nehemiah chapter 8. And Ezra the scribe stood upon a pulpit of wood, which they had made for the purpose. And beside him stood Matitya, and Shema, and Ananiah, and Uriah, and Hilkiah, and Maaseiah on his right hand. And on his left hand, Pedaiah, and Mishael, and Malchiah, and Hashum, and Hashbadana, and Zechariah, and Meshulam. So let's go over this in the Hebrew. Amod Ezra Hasofer al Migdal Eitz Asher Asu Ladabar Amod Etzlo Matit Yah Shema wa Ahnaya wa Uriah wa Kil Huya Uma'a Yah al Yamino U Mish Molo, and on his left hand side Pedaiah U Mishael U Malchiah wa Kashum wa Badana. We go over this word in the future. Something just ran through my mind. Okay. Zechariah, Meshulam. Look at the part there that's color coded. Mishael. All right. Mishael is the name of a person that you see in Nehemiah there. This mem and yod, me, means who? This sheen, shah. See there right there in the English? Mishael. That Kwamatz, which is color coded there in the red, that shah is what the person who tried to take a disrespectful offense to me didn't look up first. See the word shah right there? Mishael means who is like God. Who is like or comparable to God. See, this shah has nothing to do with the word sha'ah. Whereas that word sha'ah means to smear over or to blind oneself. So we see Mishael right there in the Bible in Nehemiah chapter 8. And the meaning of Mishael is who is like God. Who is like God. So that Shah has its own meaning, even in its own name. Who is like God. But remember, the person earlier asked, what kind of made up language is this? It's the language that Nehemiah spoke. See, a lexicon is not going to break it down like that. You understand? That is why it's important to understand, brothers and sisters, what it is for edification purposes. This is why we go over these kind of things. You understand? Let's go on to the next slide. MICAH. And at that time shall MICAH stand up. The great prince was standing for the children of your people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as there never was since there was a nation, even to that said time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. Let's go over this in the Hebrew. Uba'etahi ya'amod Mikael, hasar ha-gadol, ha'omed al b'nei Amerika, wahaita et zara ashelo di gitah mihrot goy ad ha'et hahi. Uba'etahi Yimalet amka ko hanimza katu basefer. Let's look at this right here. MICAH, said commonly in English as Michael. It's a very popular name. May my mother rest in peace. She said if I was born in this, as opposed to being brought in this as a baby after I was born, that would have been my name. But we're going to move on, okay? MICAH, who is like God. Same meaning as MISHAEL. So this kaf, meaning like or as. Let's go back, brothers and sisters, because we're going to let the book speak. Because the person asked, oh, what manner of language is this guy talking about? And then the person tried to quote, you understand, a lexicon online. You should have stayed in the Hebrew of the scriptures itself. That's like trying, and I say this and not to be arrogant, that's like trying to take even Oxford Spanish dictionary and trying to debate or battle with a brother from the Grand Concourse that's a Puerto Rican. You must be out of your mind to do such. You do not take, and I love Oxford books, but you don't take an Oxford book in Spanish and go over to 207th Street by Dyke Avenue or Dykeman Street in Upper Manhattan and think in Washington Heights you're going to debate with the so-called Dominicans. They will verbally give you a spanking. You do not take, brothers and sisters, an Oxford French book and attempt to go, brothers and sisters, to Rosedale, Queens, where there's a great population of brothers and sisters from Haiti that speak French from birth. You do not take a book, and I am an author. I love books. I write books. I plan to buy more books and so forth. And I'm thankful to the Most High to be able to buy books and become an author. But I know that there's wisdom in all things. And I will not, even as an author, take another authored book and attempt to use that to go against somebody who speaks it already, who already is said to be a teacher in such already, and trying to say, well, what made up language is that? You should have looked up the word Shah. Or what you could have done in humility is ask me to explain what I'm talking about. But no, you couldn't do that. You had to sit there and just ask, what manner of language is this made up? Your understanding of the word Shah is completely wrong. That's what the person said. So please explain the Shah in Nehemiah chapter 8 in the word MISHAEL. MISHAEL is in Exodus. Did these people read? Or did they go online in public domain information? Did they forget to pick up their pen and pad? Or did they copy and paste something from a book online? And by the way, I did copy and paste from the Bible to get this here. But I'm not trying to challenge nobody who I know speaks Hebrew. I will want to learn from you. And if you're incorrect, then I can't sit there and share information with you. But the person said that I was completely wrong. Wow. Amazing. Let's go on. Shalom. Giving honor and praise to the Most High, the Creator and Maker of heaven and earth. Brothers and sisters, available on Amazon and Lulu. This book here, Hebrew is Easy. You see that kaf there that's in the highlighted there in the red? Like or as. All right? We're going to go backward now on this. You see that sheen there? Like or as. All right? You see that kaf here? And that kaf here? Kakem, kager. And I want to point something out too in Hebrew. This is why when I teach, like in a book that I advertise, Hebrew is easy. I don't sit there and teach like some do that this, what you see right here, as the Kwamat and the Patak have a different pronunciation because both this and this mean like or as. Like as. Like as. Like you all are, like the stranger is. So that's why I don't say that that one that looks like a T called a Kwamat, or this one looking like a takeaway sign called the Patak. That's why I teach this the exact same thing. Next slide. Again, we see the Ka here. Let's go back again. Now remember, Shehen, She-Lanu. We explained this earlier. So when I said earlier about She, meaning in Hebrew, that which is, as well as the word Shah, in that regard, also meaning that which is, I proved the case in the scriptures as we went over. Okay? So let's go back. We already went over the word Shah, again, Shah and Shah. We already shown She, all right? Now, Shaquana. I'm not going to lie. I forgot the A there. The matter of Quana, where we get Shaquana. Quana means to buy or possess. So if Quana is a Hebrew word, and we already shown, brothers and sisters, where that Shah is, where the red part there is, the sheen, Shaquana means that which is purchased, that which is acquired. That is the definition in Hebrew of Shaquana, said to be a popular name among many of our sisters. All right, then let's look at from Quana to Nakwa, Sha Nikwa. Remember we went over the word Nakwa, meaning innocent. We already spoke about Sha being a prefix, so Sha Nikwa means that which is innocent. You see how that works? So when a person, maybe because I was speaking about a black thing, and remember, black people ain't supposed to be reading. That's probably where the energy of that person came from. I'm going to go to this book that I could copy and paste this. Somebody else can copy and paste from the scriptures itself and prove a point. You should have did your homework. You understand? You should have never challenged that. And it's not to be disrespectful or haughty. Because I have many friends from Haiti. When I hear them speak French, I know not to get a book and try to challenge them on it. I look like a kasil. You know what kasil is? The Hebrew word for fool. You don't debate speakers when you're still on the reading level. I state that again. You do not debate speakers when you are still on a reading level. I can read French, believe it or not, but I know not to sit there and go, like I said, to Rosedale, Queens in New York City, where there's a great population of brothers and sisters from Haiti who were born speaking French. I wouldn't even go with an Oxford American dictionary and go to London and try to sit there and debate the white British. They'll look at you like you don't need, they'll tell you this in college. In college, what we speak here in America is American, it's not English. Britain looks at American English like that's American English. Just like Castilian Spain looks at people who are like us, Puerto Rican, Dominican, so forth, Panamanian, and like that is the Western Spanish. But even with that, I know not to pick up an Oxford Spanish book and go to my brother Gonzalez, Melendez, and Rodriguez and try to challenge him. You must be out your mind. You don't do stuff like that. I'm going to break this down talking about our brothers and sisters who are Hispanics. They took Spanish when I was in high school just because they already knew that's an easy credit. Their mommy speak it. Their grandmother probably don't even know English. In many cases, this is just, I lived in the Bronx, so I kind of know what I was talking about. I remember I went to a friend's house, and my friend, who happened to be what you call a Puerto Rican, I met his family, and his grandmother looked at me, and she said something, and then he said something. And I was like, what happened? And he said that she said to him, didn't I tell you to make sure you clean your room? And now that I'm learning a couple of more Spanish words later, I was like, oh, okay, the word clean is this and room is that. All right, so forth and so on. He wound up getting in trouble from his grandmother verbally over that. You understand? This wasn't so-called Puerto Ricans that was like, oh, moreno, sucio, you know, meaning dirty black man. No, it wasn't nothing like that. These were cool brothers and sisters who happened to just be in the Bronx from the island called Borocane, aka Puerto Rico, and so forth. You understand? The Spanish that he spoke to his grandmother and the Spanish that we was going over in the high school, I was like, yo, son, really it's like that? He just, brah, brah, brah. I'm like, what in the world? They don't teach us that in school. With the book and they going over IR, AR, and ER verbs. Tener. The end drops and becomes yo tengo, I have. It's an irregular verb. My friend that was talking to his grandmother, he wasn't thinking of irregular verbs. He was just flowing. You understand? Just flowing. And I was like, wow, that is one of the deepest, fastest languages I ever heard spoken in Spanish. And maybe I'm just saying what I'm saying. When I heard in the Bronx, black people, these people were black, like my skin tone. And all you heard was, and I don't mean to sound like a fool in saying this, blah, 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 blah. And I looked and I stared at them. Because I'm like, hold on, you don't look like the quote mestizo Hispanic. And they said that they're from Dominican Republic. I said, you're from where? No, I'm from Dominican Republic. I said, the place next to Haiti? Like, yeah. And I was like, but you, what? We're the black Latinos that they don't talk about. I was like, well, whatever that means, I don't know, leaving that part alone. But what I'm saying is this. When I heard these black people from Dominican Republic, and I say black like the same skin tone as I, the Spanish they were speaking, I was amazed. And I didn't mean to stare in their mouth, because that's kind of rude, even in the public, to just stare at somebody. But I understood, and they understood, like, you're from Brooklyn, right? So you don't see this all the time, like in the Bronx. And I was like, how you know I'm from Brooklyn? And the lady was like, the way you dress. I was like, well, whatever. All right, cool. And so my point, not trying to play salesman for United Airlines and Delta Airlines, travel, see the world, see that there's things out there. And even though I'm an author, I will say, get your head out of a book and begin to see what you're talking about. That's what people get on me about in my immediate family. You always writing some history book. You go online talking about the ancient Assyrians and the Babylonians and the ancient Egyptians. Why won't you take your passport and fly to Egypt? You could go to Israel, right? Well, yeah, we should go to Israel. Well, if there's already people from America going there, why are you talking about it on your channel and not taking the same plane that you fly to Virginia and North Carolina with? Take that same plane and go east and learn something and know where you at. Don't go over there with a book talking about I'm gonna sit there and go back and forth with you, because the Hebrew that the Israelites in Damona speak is like the Spanish that Dominicans speak. Do you understand what I'm saying? The Israelites in Damona and Ritzpah Ramon and the Israelites in Aijalon, the Hebrew that they speak is like the Spanish that Dominicans speak. You do not go over there and challenge people who had to learn English when you had to learn Hebrew. Do you understand what I'm saying? You do not challenge people in Hebrew who learned it from birth, knew it from birth. I didn't know it from birth, but I studied it. Some of my friends knew it from birth. I will say this. I made a post and I put, quote, Black Israelites learn Spanish from, quote, Hispanic Israelites. Learn that. Don't be like that guy. I know it's a far-fetched thing. The movie Training Day. How's your Espanol? Más o menos. Learn that. Learn that. I ain't going to say the exact same words that Denzel said. We're going to keep it clean. Learn that. You understand? I presented a case saying that Solomon, king of Israel, had to know the language of Tarshish. Tarshish is the biblical word for Spain. Some people were saying, well, the Spanish then wasn't the Spanish today and so forth. But you totally missed my point. I'm saying this. And Solomon in the book of Kings did business with the Japhetic nations of Tarshish. Then he had to know their language, because you can't do business with a people and not know what they're talking about. That's the foolishness that America did with the Vietnam War. You got people going into the jungle in Vietnam and nobody there except for one guy may know Vietnamese. That's not bright. So you hearing Vietnamese in your American uniform in the Vietnam War and you don't know what in the world is going on around you. Joseph learned Egyptian, brothers and sisters, and the Israelites, who was his brothers, they didn't understand Egyptian. So when Genesis 41 talks about the interpreter between one and the other, they were speaking Hebrew. Joseph already knew what they were saying. So there's nothing wrong with being multilingual. Learn Creole, learn Spanish, learn French, learn Hebrew. Don't sit there and just be a monolingual person if you can't help it. You understand? Learn these things. Did you know, like I remember when I was in college, right? There was a lot of people from Western Africa and their knowledge of like, I know 10 languages. I'm like, what? I know 10 languages. I speak English, French, Belgian, German, Hausa, Dahomey, Twa or Twi, pardon me, which is the Ashanti language. And the guy mentioned some other ones. I said, you speak Belgian? He's like, yes. And I'm like, so when they teach their children, and I say this and not to be harsh, but then you find, quote, people born and reared in America like myself, quote unquote, Black American, yo, these Africans coming over and taking things. No, the African parents make sure their children are multilingual so they can move throughout the world. That's what they do. You understand? This is something to be known for edification purposes. Now, I want to drive a point home and I'm going to go way out there. There was a murderer in New York and he called himself 50 Cent back in the 1980s. He got killed on the Sabbath. He's gone. You understand? For his wickedness. He was known for being able to speak Spanish. And it was said of him, he didn't just know a few words, he can actually converse in it. The original 50 Cent went to school with Puerto Ricans and lived in a Puerto Rican neighborhood. So when he's older, and I know this is a far stretch because he's a wicked guy, but I'm just talking about the fact of knowing something. All right? He was able to converse back and forth with people in Spanish because he had it around him as a child. We got to surround our children with certain things. My little girl knows how to speak Hebrew. You understand? My little 12-year-old, she knows how to speak Hebrew. So what I'm saying, brothers and sisters, is Hebrew as Israelites should not be far-fetched. It shouldn't be, well, you got it, I don't. It's here. We got Moreh Yeshaya Hebrew lessons. It's free. It's free. Kinam hu. It is free. Now, the Israelites who say, well, brother Yeshaya, he teaches Yiddish. I say this. There's a difference between Yiddish and Hebrew. And I have to ask anyone who would like to say that I'm teaching Yiddish, get your friends or anyone you know who knows Yiddish and ask them, am I teaching Yiddish? Because Jewish people have told me, oh, you speak old Hebrew. You speak old Hebrew. I'm speaking Hebrew. Hebrew is old. What? Modern Hebrew, brothers and sisters, is basically taking Hebrew that's old and with the same grammar and root words, showing it to be of a modern thing. For instance, ancient Israel did not have what you call refrigerators. All right? So when you read the word for refrigerator, they will tell you the word mikwarer, mikwarer. All you got to do is understand the word kwa means cold, the m the m sound in the beginning of it is a prefix showing that verb is becoming a noun. That's Hebrew rules, brothers and sisters. That's not Yiddish. So these are things we want to point out for edification purposes. All right? Tanya. Tan meaning jackal. Tanya, jackal of God. May not have even the nicest meaning, but it's a Hebrew word. But a jackal's an animal, and the animal doesn't go against the Most High. So maybe we want to take the spirit maybe of a jackal, because a jackal obeys his or her maker. Us humans, we don't. You understand? So, next one, TAMAK. When you go, brothers and sisters, in the book 501 Hebrew verbs, 501 Hebrew verbs, if you want to cite a book, you read the word TAMIKA in there. The word TAMIKA means support. So TAMIKATI, my support. TAMIKATO, his support. Isto TAMIKATO, his wife is his support. You know, something like that. The word TAMIKA means support. And I know dozens of sisters with that name. That is a popular name among black girls, among black women. There are women in their 50s named Tamika. Did her mom or dad know that the word Tamika is Hebrew? Maybe not. And I say this, no disrespect intended. But if you're naming your child Tamika and you got pork in the refrigerator Something tells me you did not know TAMIKA was a Hebrew word. You understand? If you name your child Shaquana and you got shrimp in the freezer, something tells me you did not know that Shaquana is a Hebrew word. If you name your daughter Shaniqua, and I have a relative with said name, who's a grandmother at this point. I have a relative named Shaniqua who is a grandmother. So she's not the youngest nor the oldest. You understand? And I say this, and my family's probably going to get on me, my immediate family. But if you name your child Shaniqua and you have ham hocks mixed with the collard greens, and my mother, knowing herself as Israel, tells me as a child, go to their house, but make sure you don't eat from your cousins. I remember hearing that from my mother, who read me in the Hebraic understanding. Now, I know when my family hear this, they probably going to tear me a new one verbally. But if you subscribe to the channel, you already know what Auntie taught me and my sister. You already know what it is as far as us being Israel. It's just that seventh day of the week and that diet that my family be like, I don't know about doing all that. So getting back now to the subject matter, because nobody is perfect. You understand? And Hebrew doesn't make you righteous, it makes you knowledgeable. All right, so, brothers and sisters, TAMIKA, popular name. Let's go on. We explained that from that part right there. All right, so let's go back as we were going to do, okay? And I want to take the time out to say thank you before the Most High for my friend Demi, who actually constructed how this PowerPoint goes. Because I don't know how to do all of that, and I really don't have the patience for all that. Because once I copy and paste and make sure the notes are there, make sure the angle of the pictures, I'm really am not the one to, well, this is going to slide through and this is going to come, and I got the time for all that. So that's why we are each other's valuable resources. So this is how you righteously take advantage, not abuse, but use. You remember that one that we went over? Okay, so that's what that is with that. Right, we went over the Sha'ah matter. All right. And I'm not even upset with this guy that actually decided to state what we see. What kind of made up language is this? Because a person is only speaking from his or her own understanding. Your interpretation of the phrase Shah is completely wrong. Here's the example. We already explained from the book, Sha'ata, MISHAEL. We already went there. So next part, we're going to go on. All right. TAMIKA, support. Shaquana, that which is purchased, that which is acquired. We went over that. I'm going to drop another one for you. This one here. Another popular name among sisters that goes back to the Hebrew. The word kisha. Kisha is a Hebrew word identifying a bush or a plant. Kisha, identifying a bush or a plant. Okay? Brothers and sisters, giving honor and praise to the creator and the maker of heaven and earth. The sea and all that in them is. Hallelujah. Shalom Lakim. There will be, Most High willing, strength upon me, upon us. On the channel, Mora Yeshaya Hebrew Lessons, the new Hebrew classes. The time will be announced. I'm going to ask people to go to the channel and subscribe to that channel, Mora Yeshaya Hebrew Lessons, because tomorrow, which is the 17th, we're going to start going into biblical Hebrew and showing the sentence structure and how people conversed. We're going to start in the book of Judges. I'm starting in the book of Judges because that's when people talk with people. more so in conversation back and forth. So that is on that channel, Mora Yeshaya Hebrew Lessons. Don't forget, go on Amazon, look up Hebrew is Easy, Part 1, buy the book, patronize, subscribe, brothers and sisters. Most I bless you and keep you. Shalom.